got a 12. Good! 2 seconds left. The Lakers take the lead on Magic Johnson's running sky hook.
And the Lakers engineered one of the best.
Welcome to Blue, Red and Brick, where we talk about basketball whenever else comes to mind. For today's topic, we're going to reach back to summer 2016, when Stephen Curry secured the first ever unanimous MVP. This would be Curry's second MVP, having won it the year previous, and would also mark the high point in the media loving that was Curry mania. Over one season, he would top the league in scoring, enter the 50-40-90 club, and lead his team to most regular season wins ever. And he would do all of this while seeming to be a really nice guy, which inevitably led to comments like this, and general responses like this, and for anyone who's been in a coma for the last 20 years, welcome to the internet. What I want to know is the hype real? Alright, but then is it also true that Stephen Curry has had the greatest regular season ever, as many pundits are claiming? Well, let's see maybe if we can come a bit more definitive answer on that. Well, let's start with the obvious. The Golden State Warriors finished the regular season with a 73-9 record. Curry, as a franchise player, led his team to break the 95-96 Bulls record of most regular season wins ever. So yes, it's true. The Golden State Warriors as a team had the greatest regular season ever. But can the same thing be said about Curry as an individual? Did he happen to achieve the accolade of the greatest regular season player ever? Or was he just a fantastic player on an amazing team who are killing it? Well, let's put some numbers to his season and see if they add up. So what sets Curry's 2015-16 season apart? Is it his 5.4 rebounds, 6.7 assists, or 2.1 steals a game? No. These are good numbers for a point guard, but not great numbers. In fact, from a classical point of view, he doesn't actually play the point very well. He gets highlight reel assists, but he's not known for his game management, and he turns over the ball a lot. On top of this, he can be a liability defensively, and he takes bad shots. What sets Curry apart is when he takes bad shots, they inevitably go in. He scored more points this season than any other player, averaging 30.1 points a game, which is pretty impressive, right? Maybe, maybe not. The main argument against is historical. If you compare his numbers against other greats, averaging 30 points a game wouldn't even get him in the top 50 for single season points leaders. In fact, he comes in number 62 on that list. And with that in mind, how can people say he's having the greatest regular season ever? One word: efficiency. As a big-time scorer, Curry might very well be the most efficient player we've ever seen. He scores more points in fewer possessions than anyone else. Ever. How does he do this? Simple. He scores from deep with accuracy and in numbers never seen before. He set a new record with 402 made three-pointers, shooting at 45%, smashing his record from the year before. And the further you look into these numbers, the more impressive they become. From advanced stats like PER to more simplified figures like true shooting percentage, Curry has had a season for the record books, topping the league in both categories. Curry averages 5 3-pointers a game from 11 attempts, or 15 points from 11 shooting possessions. That averages down at 1.36 points every time he decides to shoot from deep, which is pretty tough to deal with. Traditionally, teams would put a top defender on him, close that distance and force him to shoot contested shots. The only problem is, Curry happens to be one of the best ball handlers in the league and the best shooting from dribble, which means he can generate huge amounts of space and still get off clean shots. The really scary thing is he doesn't actually need to. Curry shoots from behind the arc at 47% when there's a defender 4 to 6 feet from him, but this only drops down to 44% when they close 2 to 4 feet. 2 to 4 feet is an arm's length or less for most NBA players. Which forces defenders to try and kill all distance between themselves and him. But he's shooting over 90% from the free throw line, so you can't foul him. And even if you do manage to chase him off the 3-point, you've got a new problem. The The man's a wizard off the backboard. He scores 64.5% from 5 feet or less. When you add all of this up, he scored 2,375 points this year from 1,598 attempts, grouping free throws, and he averages 1.34 points per shooting possession. It's because of crazy numbers like these that defenses have to overreact to him, and when they do, that opens up space for other people. And ultimately, that's why people should be claiming Curry is having the greatest regular season ever. Not only did he score more points than anyone else, in fewer possessions, but through doing that, he also got his teammates better looks. So maybe Curry is the greatest regular season player today. But we all know that isn't what the internet's about. We honestly don't want to be happy with today's achievements and celebrate what we have. We're going to say, yeah, he's pretty good. Back in the day, they had real players. So let's see how Curry matches up historically in our top 10 lists for big-time offensive efficiency. Here are the house rules. This is a regular season breakdown focusing on offensive efficiency. To be included, players had to average 24 points or more over the season and had to play at least 65 games. Here's the maths behind our points per shooting possession if anyone's interested. And now onto the list. First up, and it's a shock at 10, is Michael Jordan from the 1991 season. He has the second highest points per game on this list with 31.5. but attempted the largest number of shots at 1,839, which gives him an average of 1.2 points per shooting possession. This same season he captured his first NBA title, his second MVP award, and the Finals MVP. Coming in at 9 is Larry Bird from the 86-87 season, when he averaged 1.22 points per shooting possession. Unfortunately for Bird, he finished third this year behind Magic and Jordan in MVP voting, having won the title the 3 previous years running. At 8 is Bernard King from the 83-84 season, when he averaged 1.24 points per shooting possession. King would become the first player since 1964 to score at least 50 points in consecutive games. He'd also be named to the All-NBA First Team. In at 7 is Karl Malone from the 89-90 season, when he averaged 1.25 points per shooting possession. He scored a career high of 61 points this season against the Milwaukee Bucks, shooting 21 of 26 field goals and 19 of 23 free throws. Number 6, Adrian Dantley from the 79-80 season, where he averaged 1.26 points per shooting possession. This season saw the introduction of a 3-point field goal and his first trip to the NBA All-Star Game. Breaking into the top 5 is Kevin Durant from the 2013-14 season, when he averaged 1.26 points, tying Dantley, but Durant outscored him by 4 points a night, averaging 32 a game. He also picked up the MVP this year, so I'll give him the nod. Number 4 is Wilt Chamberlain for the 66-67 season, when he averaged 1.27 points per shooting possession. Wilt's the highest field goal percentage of any player on this list, with 68%, but a 3-point shot won't exist for another 13 years, and his free throw accuracy was only 44%, which keeps him out of the top 3. The first of the big 3 is LeBron James from the 2012-13 season, when he averaged 1.28 points per shooting possession. He would finish the regular season averaging 26.8 points, 8 rebounds, 7.3 assists, and 1.7 steals on 56.5% shooting from the field. He was named MVP and Finals MVP for the second year running. In Game 7 of the NBA Finals, he tied the record for most points scored in a Game 7 victory with 37 points. Making a surprise entry at number 2 is Charles Barkley for the 89-90 season, when he averaged 1.32 points per shooting possession. He would finish the regular season averaging 25.2 points, 11.5 rebounds, 3.9 assists, and 1.9 steals on 60% shooting. He was named to the All-NBA First Team for the 3rd straight year and was named Sporting News and Basketball Weekly Player of the Year. He also received the most first-round votes for MVP, but lost the award to Magic Johnson. Finishing off at number 1, and no real surprise, is Stephen Curry for the 2015-16 season, when he averaged 1.34 points per shooting possession. He finished the regular season with 30.1 points, 5.7 rebounds, 7 assists and 2.3 steals on 45% shooting from the 3-point range and 91% from the free throw line. He received back-to-back MVPs and became the first unanimous MVP, which might just make him the best regular season player ever. But of course then comes the postseason, we all know how that ended. So thanks very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, there are comment sections below, so feel free to add your thoughts, and if people like it, I might make another one.